Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about a piece of technology that has completely rewired how we travel on public roads. If you work in federal oversight, if you're sitting in state or local law enforcement leadership, or if you're just a citizen keeping a close eye on public policy, this explainer is built exactly for you. We're tracking the incredibly fast evolution of automated license plate readers. You know, these things started out as pretty simple tools just for finding stolen cars. But today, they've morphed into expansive surveillance networks. We'll look at exactly how this shift happened, the data scandals it triggered, the massive local backlash, and a glaring blind spot that currently exists at the federal level. Let's get right into it.
Here is our roadmap for today. First, we cover the ALPR mission creep. Then, we check out what these cameras actually capture beyond just plates, the flock data scandal, how cities canceled their contracts, and how Washington state drafted a blueprint to handle the fallout. We wrap up with the Federal Oversight Gap.
All right, Section 1, the ALPR mission creep, establishing the baseline.
So, to really understand this debate, we need to know exactly what we're looking at. An automated license plate reader, or ALPR, is a camera system that grabs your license plate data. It logs the exact date, time, and location of your car as you drive by. A recent Congressional Research Service report notes they basically come in two flavors. You've got fixed systems, those are the ones sitting up on light poles, traffic lights, and bridges. And then you have mobile systems attached right onto police patrol cars. Every single time you drive past one, boom, your location goes into a database.
And the scale of this is absolutely wild. 100%. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, 100% of police departments serving over 1 million residents now use ALPRs. On top of that, nearly 90% of sheriff's offices with 500 or more sworn deputies use them too. They are literally everywhere.
Which brings us to Section 2, Beyond the License Plate, Expanding Capabilities.
Honestly, calling them license plate readers feels pretty outdated at this point. The unexpected reality is that these cameras do way more than just read plates. They capture incredibly specific details about your life. Modern systems are out there looking for vehicle dents, scanning for specific bumper stickers, and processing specialty tags. They even flag rideshare logos, like if you're driving for Uber or Lyft. Because they capture thousands of images a day, they retain massive amounts of visual data. And as we're about to see, some of these systems capture super clear images of what drivers are actually doing inside their cars, like using a cell phone. This is a massive jump from just reading a metal plate. This next part perfectly captures the mission creep. Officially, major vendors like Flock Safety publicly claim their tech is not used to enforce traffic violations. But then you look at the documented reality. The Georgia State Patrol actually ticketed a driver for holding a cell phone. The ticket literally read, "Captured on Flock camera, holding phone in left hand." So the actual design of the technology allows the exact behavior the vendor officially disavows. Public records even show speed enforcement cameras plugging right into the ALPR network.
That disconnect leads us straight into Section 3, the Flock data scandal, breaking down data silos.
As these cameras vacuumed up more data, the walls separating local police from federal agencies just started to crumble. Local info ended up in federal hands, completely without local consent. Look at this number, 1.6 million. That represents a huge breach of trust. Journalists and civil liberties groups found out that Flock safety cameras used by California police were sharing data with ICE, Border Patrol, and out-of-state agencies over 1.6 million times. State laws in California strictly forbid cities from sharing plate data to help federal immigration enforcement, but the system just let it happen anyway. Groups like the Electronic Frontier Foundation used public records requests to see how this data gets used in practice, and the findings are definitely concerning. They found police departments searching networks to surveil political protests. They found evidence of targeting immigrant communities and tracking highly specific travel patterns. In one case, Texas sheriff's deputies actually searched for the car of a woman seeking reproductive health care. The Institute for Justice even noted that police officers used ALPRs to stalk romantic interests at least 15 times recently. This is exactly what happens when you have massive databases with zero tight controls.
So how did some governments react when the public found out? Well, they tried to close the curtains. As public records laws brought these practices to light, lawmakers in states like Arizona, Connecticut, Illinois, and Georgia introduced bills to block public access to ALPR logs. They tried to exempt this data from Freedom of Information Acts. Privacy advocates rightly point out that this strips away the exact public oversight mechanism that exposed the abuses in the first place.
But citizens didn't stay quiet, taking us to Section 4. Cities canceled their contracts, the local backlash.
The unauthorized sharing completely tanked trust in these vendors. Let's trace how fast this moved. In August 2025, Flock admitted to a Denver news station that they ran a pilot program with Customs and Border Protection, which directly contradicted earlier statements from their CEO. By late 2025, cities woke up to the fact that their local data was flowing out of state. On January 13, 2026, Santa Cruz, California formally voted to tear up their Flock contract, citing the risk of local data fueling federal immigration crackdowns. By early 2026, over 30 localities, places like Flagstaff, Arizona, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Eugene, Oregon, canceled their contracts or totally deactivated their systems.
And the tension reached a boiling point. Flock Safety's CEO actually called the activists mapping out the cameras terroristic, claiming partner agencies were facing a coordinated attack. But you had local law enforcement pushing back. Chief Jim Williams of the Staunton, Virginia Police Department directly countered the CEO, saying, "What we are seeing here is a group of local citizens who are raising concerns that we could be potentially surveilling private citizens. This is democracy in action." Staunton ended its contract shortly after that.
That local momentum leads us right into Section 5, Washington State Takes Action, the legislative blueprint.
While individual cities were busy canceling contracts, Washington State decided to build a real framework to control the tech. On March 30, 2026, Washington's governor signed Senate Bill 6002, the Driver Privacy Act. This is a huge deal. It stands as the very first comprehensive state-level law responding directly to the data sharing messes we just talked about. It gives a clear, localized solution by setting hard, undeniable boundaries on surveillance.
They establish strict guardrails by drawing a clear line between permitted and prohibited actions. Police can use the system to investigate felonies, find stolen vehicles, and locate missing persons. Makes sense, right? But crucially, they absolutely cannot use these cameras for immigration enforcement, monitoring constitutionally protected protests, or surveilling areas anywhere near reproductive or gender-affirming healthcare clinics. And if you willfully violate these rules, it's a gross misdemeanor.
The law also slaps a strict 21-day data retention limit on the systems. You can't just hoard the data forever on the off chance you might need it later. Following the law's passage, Flock Safety actually agreed to apply this 21-day retention schedule across the entire state of Washington.
Which leaves us with the biggest missing piece, Section 6, the Federal Oversight Gap, gaining control.
Washington State proved we can create a standard, but we have a massive blind spot at the national level. Despite 100% adoption in major cities, no uniform federal framework exists for ALPR data retention or sharing. None. The Drug Enforcement Administration runs a massive national license plate reader program that links up federal, state, and local equipment. Yet retention periods vary wildly across the country. We're talking anywhere from a few days to several years. The federal government has zero universal standards to prevent the kind of mission creep we explored today.
So, what is the actual mandate here for professionals in federal oversight and law enforcement leadership? Dr. Brandon D'Andrea, he's a 22-year Army veteran and an investigative review specialist at the DoD Office of Inspector General, gives us the exact framing we need. He says, "Our job is not to build AI. It is to keep it honest. We do not need to code it. We need to control it. Tech vendors will absolutely keep pushing the boundaries of what their cameras can capture. They will keep linking databases together. The job of oversight is to put the controls in place, build those guardrails, and make sure the tech actually serves the public without steamrolling civil liberties."
We have seen exactly what happens when systems run wild without strict parameters. Data spills across borders, local laws get completely bypassed, and public trust evaporates. The mission creep is real, for sure, but it is not inevitable. Oversight professionals and law enforcement leaders have the tools right now to demand audits, enforce strict retention limits, and hold these vendors accountable. Keep it honest. That is the whole job. As this surveillance net continues to grow across our roads, the question is, will your agency be the one setting the guardrails or the one caught operating without them?